You parrot people are really lucky. Guess who I got? The renowned, the famous, the very
Oh
hard,
my God.
famous, and famous amongst all bird people, other veterinarians, and anybody wishing to have their bird looked at by a woman who really knows birds. Dr. Ann Bourke is so busy. She will wonder why. She does home visits. And you go to Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Do you have a little plane? How do you do this?
I have a Prius.
I figured as much.
Honestly, if I could get an electric car that did a range of 250, I would do it.
You would.
But right
Because
now, Prius is as good as it gets. Yeah.
now you make these trips because there's only one you, and there's people spread out all over the place with birds, particularly parrots. But
People spread out all over the place. And for living in New England, I don't think I could make a living
oh,
doing this in a brick and mortar building
good point.
because there just isn't the concentration of parrots like there is down south or
Right.
California or Florida. But it works for house calls. And the thing I love about the house calls is I get to see where these birds are living, which is so much, it's very different from dog and cats because you figure the dog is living in the house, right?
Right.
The bird is in the house too, but they have their own little house. And so much of the behavior and other things and nutrition, you've got to see it. You've got to see
That's a really good point because people are with dogs, cats, and exotic animals and avian creatures. They tell you what they think you want to hear. They don't tell you
it.
about the Oreo cookie they gave the parrot yesterday.
And to be honest, even using the word, for example, pellets, I had an
Yes.
example a couple of weeks ago. I was at someone's house and I just said, "So, what are you feeding?" And they said, "Pellets." And then a few minutes later, I went over and looked in the cage, and it is filled with Walmart grade seed and peanuts. And I
Wow.
said, "I thought you said he was eating pellets." And she said, "Oh, no, that's what he eats there." I said, "This isn't pellets." So you
Oh
can't
my
always rely on what they say. You've got to see it.
And the quality of parrot food, as I understand it, is vitally essential to their welfare.
It really is.
Obviously, dogs and cats, the better the ingredients of their food, the better they will do physically, but it doesn't affect them as dramatically as a parrot being fed low quality, like not fancy food full of the fancy ingredients that parrots need, right?
Exactly. And part of the problem, too, is that we don't know what parrots need. We're
Oh,
feeding all parrots as if they were the same species, but a budgie in the wild does not eat the same thing as an Amazon.
right. That
They're
makes perfect sense.
completely different. One's from a dry, deserty type of environment, the other's from rainforest, but yet we're feeding them exactly the same.
But we shouldn't, I'm guessing.
We shouldn't, but we don't have another option. So pellet really is the best we've got right now, along with a lot of fresh foods, fresh fruits and vegetables.
But oh, those are only the cherry on top, right? Aren't there people who go with fresh fruits and vegetables thinking, oh, it's a wild bird. I'll just give it what it would find in the jungle, as if it would
Exactly,
find
exactly.
mango.
And in the wilds of Connecticut, we cannot find what a macaw is eating in the Pantanal in Brazil. We
Yeah,
just
yes. So, because I'm a believer in calling out good brands all the time, can you give us the names of the pellets that you personally say, oh gosh, I wish you wouldn't go Walmart. I wish you would do, and then give us some brand names?
I mean, there are a lot of brand names, and I think
Give
that
them to me anyway.
they're all good. I feed my big parrots
Terracins.
Harrison's.
Harrison's. Oh, yes, of course.
Yep. And
And
and I know that Beaktivity is also a big fan of Harrison's.
oh, they are. See, that's
Keep
the
in the
thing.
head there a little.
I'm glad you skipped ahead because I got the privilege of having basically a house call with you for all the parrot lovers out there because of Sue and John at Beaktivity, because they must have used you as their veterinarian. And then when they decided to create this product, this elaborate, very carefully researched and designed toy for parrots, more
Mhm.
than a toy, like an activity jungle, you were one of their most important Excellent.
I was one of, or I should say, my birds were
Oh,
testers for the toys.
right.
So the reason I got involved is we have a mutual friend as well. Um, Sue and John are involved in the Connecticut Parrot Rescue, and a good friend of mine, Nancy, is also involved with the Connecticut Parrot Rescue. Um, so I hadn't seen Sue and John in quite a while. So she got us together and said, "Hey, Sue would like to know if you'd be willing to test out some toys for her that she's thinking about making." I'm not thinking about. She was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." So these huge boxes came to my door with all these toys. And I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try." And that's
And
how I
they're
got started.
remarkable. They struck me not just because they won awards at the big pet convention expo where there's many competing products, but because to look at them and touch them and see them, they are head and shoulders above the kind of dime store plasticky.
They really are. And what I really like is everything is made right there. So we know the ingredients are good.
Yeah.
They're using food grade coloring. When you buy a toy in the store, you have no idea where that toy is coming from, what's been used in the manufacturing of
Right.
that toy.
How much should that go into your parrot's mouth? Because that's how they play.
Yeah.
I think that what I don't know if it's a hard sell for them in terms of having a business because do many you are intimately aware of the personalities and thought process of parrot owners. Are they willing to shell out, call it up to $100 for a one-time expenditure and then add on more pieces as the parrots
I think
purposely have
they
gone?
are. I think they
Good.
are because so many times I hear, "Oh, I bought this toy and it was gone in 2 days,"
Yeah.
which is the sign of a good toy. Because that means the bird loved it, the bird played with it, and did what they were
Enjoyed
supposed
it.
to do, just
Yeah.
scared it. But with your standard toy, okay, it's gone. Now I have to shell out $100 again. And $100 is not out of the question when you're talking about a huge macaw toy. Some of those are
Really?
very expensive.
Even the lower quality ones. I'm saying lower quality because I look at them and they look like cheesy plastic, but they can
Yeah.
be really
Some
pricey.
some of the big macaw toys are very expensive, and they are once they're chewed, they're done. They're gone.
Yes.
So the thing I love about the Beaktivity toy, it's refillable.
Yes.
So all that wood is now gone from the toy, and now you have these little steel cables. You can
Yes.
put more wood on, and the wood is cheaper. The wood is the cheap part of the. So the thing I love is that, oh, okay, we're done. We just order a refill box.
And you order the stuff your own parrot liked the most, meaning destroyed the most quickly.
Exactly. So, he really liked these particular blocks, but he didn't like the little cardboard bits, or
Or
vice
the woven straw or whatever it may be.
straw, or you pick and choose what
Yeah.
they like, which is fabulous. And yes, you may have to shell out a little bit more initially, but you've got that toy forever now.
Right.
Oh,
And it's healthy.
and it's healthy, and so much has gone into it, and they're bird people.
Oh,
how
are they ever?
how many bird toys are manufactured by people who own birds? I don't know, maybe none.
Exactly. At ZoomEd, when they create things, everybody there has an amphibian. They have a fish. They have a reptile. They're those people. Their entire office is filled with slithering, swimming things. And I don't think that necessarily in the bird world that's true. That the companies that make them, and they often make them to appeal to the human, look funny or cute to the human, look like a cartoon character
Exactly.
or what have you.
Exactly. They put little things on them that make it, or they done them so heavily
Yes.
to appeal to the human. But
Yes.
is it appealing to the bird? Maybe not. I don't know.
And is it safe? So I really like the fact that they put that level of care and concern into building something. They wanted to build it right from the ground up. But as you
Exactly.
say, they're parrot people. Let's talk for a minute about the Connecticut Parrot Rescue because Sue and John have been fosters for so many birds. And I'm more in awe of that almost than people who foster a litter of kittens or even foster one dog from Puerto Rico for Animal Lighthouse Rescue. Birds when you bring them into your household where you already have other birds, they're loud, they're noisy, they have reactions, they're emotional, they're needy. And meeting all
So
those needs,
adding a third dog just means a couple more bowls on the floor usually, and maybe
yeah,
another dog bed. Adding a third bird is a whole nother cage,
yeah,
whole nother
that's
set of
right.
toys. It might be a whole nother set of stands. So it's a huge commitment.
And you need space and you need
Lots
patience.
of, oh, a lot of patience.
Now you put a bird that somebody has given up. Either the bird has had such a, let's call it unsatisfying life that they're acting out a lot. Now that's a judgment on my part that the people didn't give the bird as satisfying a life as he might have liked. Or maybe he's just an obstreperous bird. But now
Mhm.
they've given him up and now the Connecticut Parrot Rescue, these fosters take them in and now they have to juggle with this
And,
not
and,
easy
and
bird.
they get birds that come with baggage.
Exactly.
And most of that baggage is because of former owners.
So I
Not
wasn't wrong.
former
Okay.
owners were doing anything bad. They may have been lovely owners, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to train a bird.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by training? Is that just step up? Is it trick training? Or is it just teaching the bird, don't bite me? You know,
Right.
it
Good
depends on
point.
exactly. Some people are very happy with it, just don't bite me. Some people are quite happy with that. Other people want something a little bit more interactive. So, what you get when you're rescuing a bird could be anything.
Yes.
Could be getting literally a wild animal.
Probably closer to wild than not, because
Oh yeah,
unless the owner just died, which can happen with birds being so long-lived,
it happens a
there's
lot.
a good
Yeah.
chance that bird had some level of a person's frustration, ignorant neglect, meaning not
Yeah.
stupid, but unknowing what they could do better for the bird.
Yeah, I hate using the word abuse because I really don't feel
I
like
agree.
a lot of them are abuse. Neglect is huge. And
Yes,
neglect could be as simple as I didn't feed the right food because I couldn't be bothered to Google what the right food,
yes.
or he had one toy, which is a rusty old bell.
Oh,
These are things I've seen, or nothing but one single wooden dowel. Curtain rod. I've seen curtain rods used as perches. That's not abuse, that's neglect. That's just, you need to educate. Education is all capital letters when it comes
yeah.
to parents.
Yeah, it is. They have needs and they're very specific. And if you don't meet them, everybody goes downhill. The human
Yeah,
animal bond is
yeah.
fractured and the bird is having a fairly miserable life. When people call you for a house call, though, they're going out of their way.
They
Do
are,
they
and
sit and wait for you?
I see the cream of the crop usually to
Yes,
clients because sadly most birds are not getting any veterinary care, and they're certainly not going to pay for a house call, and they're not going
that's
to
right.
pack the bird up and drive it somewhere, so they don't get anything. So yeah, the people that I see, they're all very good. They're all very good.
And if they didn't, you saw the one with the Walmart food, but I'm sure as soon as you pointed it out, they felt terrible. I hope. I don't mean that you shamed them, but I hope they were like, "Oh my God, I had no idea. Harrison's, I'll get right on the internet."
Yeah, yeah. I wish it was that easy.
Oh,
The problem comes with switching the diets. It's not as
oh,
easy as just dumping out the seed and putting in the pellets.
so tell.
The problem with pellets is they don't look like food.
That's right.
So if you're not used to them, if the bird isn't used to seeing them, they're going to look at it and go, "What is this? Give me my
Right,
peanuts." So it should start from the very beginning, from weaning these birds. They should be weaned right onto this kind of food. If they're not, the older they get, the harder it is to convince them that this is what you want to eat. There's a lot of tricks. There's a lot of ways to do it, but people are lazy. People want instantaneous results.
right.
They don't want to try for a week, a month, 6 months to get the bird converted over. So when I said education is the key, patience is also
It's
a
huge.
big thing, a very big thing. And it's not, I guess, even dogs, switching brands of dog food, you have to do it gradually.
The hard one is cats off of kitty crack because dry food for cats, which is what Dr. Elizabeth Hodgkins and I have been calling it for years,
Yeah.
it's as dreadful for a cat, maybe more so, than just plain old wild bird seed is for a parrot who needs completely different nutrition.
Yeah.
But once they get, now this is the question I was going to ask you. Once a cat gets hooked on kitty crack and they get literally hooked on it, like addicted to it. You can't keep it away from them when you try to transition them to high quality, natural, canned food or some other version of fresh food. Why can the pet pellet makers for parrots not do something to make the pellets very appealing to the birds?
I
Why
think
can
they try. I think
they
they try.
do? They do?
For example, Zupreme does colors in the hopes that maybe the bird will be more attracted to the colors.
And are
Some
they?
people don't like it. No, I don't think it makes a difference. The way that I have found is one of the easier ways to
Okay.
convert the birds is to play with the food. Now, you have to have a certain type of
Oh,
bird to do this, but if you play with it and you toss it around and you pretend to eat it yourself,
no kidding.
the cockatiel, you put the cockatiel on the tabletop, sprinkle the pellets all over the tabletop, and just flick the pellets around and make them look interesting so the cockatiel goes,
No
yeah.
kidding.
And I have taken particularly the little birds, budgies and cockatiels. The minute they get that one pellet in their beak and they go, oh, that's not bad, then they'll
Nice.
eat it. But it's just getting them to recognize this is food, guys, because
That's really interesting.
it
I
doesn't
remember
look
once
like food.
I
Maybe
was
if they made pellets that look exactly like sunflower seeds. I don't know. Maybe that
well,
would work.
I wonder if the visual of the sunflower seed is what attracts the bird, or is it the feeling of cracking the seed?
It's probably a little both. It's a high fat item, so like eating candy for us. They do enjoy the crunch. They do enjoy
Yeah.
the crunch.
So this is it. So basically, the advice to you all is play with your food.
Play with your food. So I have seen parrots in the wild. I've seen African greys in the wild.
You
They
have.
play. They play with their food.
Okay, give a description of how they do that. And what is that food that they're playing with? Is it a berry, a nut?
I saw them eating palm fruit from a palm
Okay.
tree.
What does that look like?
Oh my gosh, what does it look like? It was way up in a tree.
No, but is it round? Is it
Orange fruit type thing.
okay? Got it.
But yeah, they would either grab some, run off, sit in a branch, eat a little bit,
Oh,
hop,
really?
go back. Or there were some birds that would just sit there right by it and just be noshing it off a tree.
Wow.
Hanging upside down in a tree and grabbing the
Oh, what
off
fun.
the branch. Just yeah, they're playing as they're eating. They're not just sitting on the edge of a bowl and
Right.
scarfing it in. They're,
Yeah.
they're working. They're working.
So is there any way to, I don't know, put the good pellets into some sort of a hanging
Yes,
basket or
and this is
something?
where the keyword foraging comes in, which has been a big buzzword for many years because this is how parrots eat. They forage. They don't just go to a food source and eat it. They forage.
Right.
And even if foraging means I have to hang upside down from a tree and eat my food, that's very different than just eating out of a bowl.
Yeah.
And this is something that they've done in Beaktivity is
Oh,
they've put little foraging things in their toys, in their replacement boxes. So for example, little baskets
I've seen those.
where you can put a little Nutriberry or a little something, a little nut. And they have actually found it. Zoos started doing this foraging thing years ago. And they have found that the animals prefer to look for, to forage, to hunt for their food rather than to have it just there because it's what they're conditioned to do.
They're hardwired. Their brain is to look for
Hardwired.
your
And
food.
to them, it's fun. This is
Yeah.
playing. This is
Yeah.
part of their life. So, yeah, that's pulling it all together with the Beaktivity toys.
Right.
That's one of the things I love is they do the foraging thing. Yeah, there are other foraging toys out there, and they're all good.
But you can put your pellets right in them.
You could probably put the pellets right in them. Yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing to realize that in the wild, in the jungle, which is what a parrot or any kind of a bird is hardwired to survive there, even though they're born in captivity,
They
you
spend
don't,
such a long amount of their day not
And that
necessarily.
fulfills them. It satisfies them.
It does. In captivity, you've got a bird that, okay, you put their bowl in, they're done eating in 5 minutes. Now what do I do?
Yeah, they're
They'll
depressed.
scream, I'll pick my feathers.
Yes, yes. I'll bite you.
Constructive instead of making it a little harder, but much more fun.
Yeah, I think that's the realization is that in the wild, in real life, there's not just a bowl or a Pez dispenser that sends out this food. It's unnatural.
Yeah. And watching these grays at this palm tree,
What fun.
we're expending so much energy,
Yeah.
except for the one lazy one that was just sitting. They would go, they would pick off a little bit, and then they would fly over or walk over to a branch, eat a little bit, toss it, like,
That's because
and
they're
then
very
go right
wasteful.
back to it. So there was that constant energy expenditure that doesn't
So,
happen in a cage.
right. But if you have the Beaktivity toy on the stand, now they can, that is a form of play slash forage slash destruction, get to the bottom of something, because that's what they're hardwired to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
as much as you can incorporate that into their lifestyle, the bird you'll have, and the more you'll be doing well by them, doing
yeah.
right by them.
And I would have to say, when my macaw, I have a green wing macaw, and he's very picky about his toys. There are very few that he really likes. And he had this one toy on his stand for years. For years, he didn't touch it. Just a wooden toy, nothing exciting about it. I got the Beaktivity toy, I put it up next to this wooden toy. He had it demolished in a couple of days. All the wood was gone. I said,
Isn't that amazing?
no, I don't know if it's the quality of wood they're using or if it's just the way it hangs. It's easier for.
Isn't that fascinating?
I thought that was really interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting because they put so much time and effort into it using their own large extended family of parrots.
Right.
And then they brought them to you and they sent one to Dr. Doug Mader, who's my co-host on this show, who has a macaw, who loved the toys, loved the big whole activity kit, as I think of it.
Yeah.
And my brother, who has an African gray, who had a bunch of random toys hanging that more looked like adornments on the cage than something the bird was actually doing anything with.
It's furniture, it's
Yeah.
pictures, and
Yes,
yeah.
it's like a Christmas ornament on a tree
Hmm.
rather than this is here for you to destroy and I will replace it. Just let me know which one you like best. Dr. Ambourne, you do such great things for parrots all over the Northeast and everyone who's ever had the pleasure of you putting your hands on their birds, they're grateful. So thank you for being there for all those
I don't
people.
know if the birds themselves are so grateful.
Well, they're grateful they don't have to go into a vet clinic. They'd much rather have you see them in their home. You're doing great things. And I also want to send a shout out to your sheep because you raise sheep.
I used to.
Oh,
I
you
don't know.
used to.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the problem with Google. On the vet clinic where you go once a week, or is it once a month? Very
Oh,
infrequently.
Yalesville, they're still saying, yeah,
They're still saying,
we raised a flock of Soay sheep for probably 20 years.
wow.
Loved them, but yeah, we got rid of the last of our herd. We gave them to a friend of ours who also raised Soays.
Nice. That's what you do. You pass them along. That's what people do with parrots, right?
We passed them along. These sheep didn't care where they were as long as they had nice grass.
Of course, sheep are
But,
much easier keepers than a parrot.
but
That's
yeah,
for sure.
that was quite fun.
Good. I'm sure the birds keep you more than busy. Thank you for your
Oh
time.
yes. You're
Yes.
very welcome,
Thank you for your
Tracie.
time and your devotion and also for helping Sue and John make Beaktivity all that it is. Take
Fabulous.
care.
Can't
Look
say enough
forward
about
to
them.
seeing you all up and down the East Coast. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.